Well, hello. I am shooting this week's video on my webcam, which is not the best, but didn't want to pull out my video stuff to shoot this week. I really am kind of waiting. I'll shoot a regular video, more stuff, and more production to it once I get below 300. Until then, I'm just kind of, heading there, but, I wish I was going quicker, but I guess considering everything, it's not bad. Um, I'll give you the numbers right off the bat. I think the last time I checked in was a little less than 2 weeks ago, and I was at 319 and a half, and as of this morning, I'm at 314 and a half. So I've lost another 5 pounds in the last 2 weeks. Now, I'd like to see 5-10 pounds a week. I didn't get that. Part of that was the fact that I've been gone for a week out to visit my wife's relatives in Iowa and Kansas City, and it was basically Thanksgiving and Christmas. So there was food everywhere, so I ate everything you can imagine. Now, I didn't eat a lot of everything. It's just that I probably ate little sweets here, sweets of this, some of that. So I just think you can't lose as much weight if you eat. Even though you can eat everything with the sleeve, you probably shouldn't eat everything. And I probably did experiment with a lot of different foods this last week and a half. So that's probably why I'm not down a little bit more. But man, I'm down, and that's the thing. I would never go into a Thanksgiving and Christmas, which that's what this was for the family for that weekend. The food was everywhere, and the thought of losing weight is kind of funny because you would have never done that in the past. A few things that I've noticed. I've been off the liquid diet longer than probably most people at this point. 2.5 weeks after the surgery, I could feel my stomach was doing well. I began to experiment. A little over 3 weeks, I was probably eating solid foods. So I've been on solid foods for a good week and a half, and with no problems. I've learned a few things, and if you're new and you're starting to eat, you're going to find out that certain foods that in the past were exactly what you loved, you don't love them as much anymore, or your stomach and your mind get together and you learn some stuff. Let me give you some examples. I pretty much, chicken, turkey, those are wonderful things to have. Sometimes they've been roasted, sometimes they have been fried. It doesn't seem to matter which one you have. Obviously, if you chose the roasted, you're going to get less calories, and maybe you'll lose weight a little more. But that's kind of the nice thing about this is I can have, if it's a piece of, filet fried chicken, I've had it, and you're still losing weight. The interesting thing is that you just don't have as much of it. For instance, take a chicken tender, say this big, 4 inches. Before you might have got an order eating, I don't know, 5 of them, 6 of them, 7 of them with surprise. Well, now you're going to order that up, and you're going to eat one, if you can eat one, maybe eat one. The other day that one of our relatives made these great ribs, and I looked at them. I thought I could eat 4 or 5, the meat off of 4 or 5 ribs. I said, yeah, I've 3 or 4. 1 rib later, I'm done. Someone had said that they fill up quicker on pork. I found that to absolutely be true. Now, if you're starting to eat food, one thing that I've experienced that I'll just kind of give you a little input on is that when I eat and when I get full, it's different than before the surgery. Before the surgery, I would eat and I'd get foolish, and then foolish and full, and eat more. And sometimes you stuff yourself. You're like, oh, you know that feeling. It's not like you feel bad, or you just know you just really put it in there. Even times when you don't overeat, the fullness is a very satisfying, soft, wonderful feeling. Now when I fill up, what I found, and you can experiment with this, is when I begin to eat, take my time, eat what I eat. When I get my sleeve is about 3/4 full, I find it almost uncontrollable need to burp. So when I get to the point where I have that burp, I know I've got another 2 or 3 bites of whatever I'm having, and I'm going to be full. And the biggest thing that I'm dealing with is, and I'm getting over it though, is when your stomach is full, your head isn't. You're used to seeing and piling and eating large quantities. So when you're full, it's going to take a long time, I got a feeling, before your head and your brain and everything you've done and how you've eaten for years, before it fills and like it's full. I found that if I eat and my stomach is full, and even though my head's not full, I see the food before I could have consumed it, no problem. I can't. I found that if I wait 10 minutes, my head catches up with my stomach. That's, at that moment, you can't eat more, which is great, because otherwise you would. But it takes some time for your head to catch up to your stomach, and then you're fine. And then after those 10 minutes, the fullness that you feel will remind you of the old fullness that you felt. That's how it's been for me, and I know for everyone it's going to be different. I've had some days when I seem to be, I want to eat every couple of hours. Some days when I won't eat for 6 or 8 hours. I'm just sort of, to a certain extent, trying to listen to my stomach. Getting the protein in. I have noticed when you go to eat, some things that I've noticed that are different. The other day, we went to Subway with some friends, family. 6-inch subs were ordered by everyone. I actually got the kid sub, which is a half of a 6-inch, is a 3-inch. Got some ham on it. I got in the car, started to eat, took a bite of the whole sandwich, realized what happens is, even if you're a bread lover, which I am, you find out that bread doesn't have the excitement it used to have, because you can have so little of it before you'll end up being full. And it's almost like your body tells you, almost like it wants you to know you're wasting your time and you're wasting its space. So what I find myself doing a lot now is eating the protein on the plate first. If it's a piece of turkey, I have a tendency to eat more of that first and just maybe taste the other items. If it happens to be stuffing, which it was at this one meal, or mashed potatoes, just touching and just barely tasting those. Bread, I really haven't pulled a roll over or a piece of bread over for a meal in well, almost since before the surgery. I found that cornbread goes down better than regular bread. Don't know why. I also know when it comes to tortillas. Corn tortillas, you can have a few more bites of corn tortilla than you can a flour tortilla. So if you're thinking about going to Taco Bell, you'll find that you'll want the crunchy shell corn taco, not the burrito or chicken burrito with, you think that because of the, you got the chicken in there and the flour. You won't eat hardly any of it, and it just doesn't, it's not going to give you the satisfaction it used to give. It's just not going to be the same thing. So I just find that if I eat my proteins first and then touch the other things until I, eat, I always end up where, like, okay, my stomach is 75% full of protein, 10-15% of like potatoes or other things or vegetables, and 5-6% maybe of the bread at the end. You're going to find that that'll work pretty good for you, and you need to get the proteins in, so kind of focus on those first. But I've been able to go to restaurants a few times and shared some meals with my wife, which basically means I get 20% of them, she gets 80. That's about all I can eat at a regular meal at any restaurant, any food. It's an interesting experience. I'm still learning how to make my head happy with how much I'm eating, and it's an emotion that passes very quickly. And as you see the weight come off and your pants start fitting differently, it has its rewards. So that's where I'm at today, feeling pretty good. Just a little over 4 weeks after the surgery, and as of this morning, I guess that makes me down 40. Let me think here. 50 down to 40. That's 45.5 pounds. So that's pretty good. I just can't wait to get below that 300 mark. That's just about 15 pounds away. So that'll be fun to be under there, because I haven't been under there in about 2.5 years. So it's kind of my mark I'm looking for before I set the next mark. Anyway, thanks for all your comments and things, and I will keep it going. I promise the quality of this video, I'll try not to do this too often, but I wanted to get something up for people that are out there. And we're looking for something. They wanted me to get some new stuff up here, so here it is. And I can see as I go along, you know how that's going to be. Your videos are going to come fewer and far between, and it's just the way it goes with just about everyone, because you just start doing other things. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.